So today we're here with Chris Harstad to talk a little bit about networking. Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, sure. I'm Chris Harstad. I'm a home mortgage consultant with Wells Fargo Home Mortgage. I've taken a few classes at MSU, so I guess I can consider myself an MSU alumnus. Graduated of Bethany College after 4 years. Been with Wells Fargo for the past just over a year now.
Nice. Okay. So we're focusing on networking because it is a big aspect to oftentimes getting a job or an internship. So why do you personally think networking is so important?
Well, networking is a way to engage with other people. In the workforce, you need to be able to speak with people, you need to be able to interact with people. People skills are priority number one. So networking is a great way, if you're not comfortable talking with people, to build some confidence and to get some practice at just talking with a variety of different people. I guess this word networking can kind of sound a little intimidating, right?
Yes.
All it is just simply getting to know other people and being interested in other people. What you want to do, I guess, when you're looking for networking opportunities is, what's your goal with networking? Obviously with juniors and seniors looking to plan to graduate and get out in the workforce, how do you want to interact with people? Who do you want to talk to, and what's your goal with that? Are you looking to land a job, say in an industry? Well, talk with people who are either the hiring agents or even people within a company or an industry that you want to work with, and just get to know people. Don't need any big agenda. It's just a matter of connecting.
Well, that's good to know. Can you describe one of your networking experiences for us and like how that helped maybe like you get into this field or like make a connection that's been really promising?
Yeah, sure. So as I said, I started with Wells Fargo just over a year ago. I was working with a small marketing company before that, which allowed me to really get to know a lot of the Mankato area businesses and people in our community. If I hadn't had that experience getting to know those people, it would have been very difficult for me to get to this position, because I need to know people in the community with this position. So what I did is I started reaching out to a lot of friends that I had met through our young professionals group. I know Chris is part of that group. And I started reaching out to business and banking presidents and managers and having sit-down lunches with them.
Okay.
I took the initiative to reach out to them and say, I'm looking for an opportunity. Could we talk about this? So it takes initiative to get what you want, that next step, and just starting to form a basic relationship with people. So I was able to meet with a wide variety of banking managers and presidents, and felt and heard a lot of great things about Wells Fargo, and it was a great fit for me, and here I am today. So that came about because of actively networking with people in the banking industry before I found this job.
That's good to know. And were these people people that you knew beforehand, or that you just randomly like looked them up and decided to email them?
Many, in most of the cases, I did know them through other networking events. So I've been networking for the past 4 or 5 years through our young professionals group, through here our chamber hosts events called Business Before Hours and Business After Hours. So I know I've been to quite a few of those. So it's been kind of a slow trickle process of getting to know people, which really helped me later on, these several years later, of me looking for a position in the banking industry.
Okay. So is there like a specific time or place or like certain person you should be networking with to start off with, or is it just kind of whenever, wherever?
Well, from a student's perspective, I would say the first place to start would be talking with your professors in your field. Ask them, hey, do you know anybody in the community, or do you know who might be good for me to connect with to learn more about either job opportunities or to learn more about this industry, I guess in a more practical means, in a non-classroom setting. They might be able to give you a few names. And then give them a call. Don't send them an email, don't send them a Facebook message, give them a call, make a personal live connection, leave a message if you have to, and just say, hey, I'm young, I'm an MSU student, and soon to graduate. I heard so-and-so mentioned it might be good for us to connect. Would you have a few minutes to grab some coffee or some lunch? I have a few questions to ask you and would love to meet you.
That's a great idea.
Most of the
Good idea.
times, people are pretty flattered by that.
Okay, so would you say that would be the first step to networking then, is to just utilize who you already know to make other connections?
It's the best way if you can leverage an existing connection to make that handshake, so to speak, for you, and then you can mention their name when you talk with them. That just makes it a warmer connection for
Okay.
you.
Sounds good.
And of course, if you don't have a warm connection, you're just simply picking up the phone and reaching out to them and explaining the situation. They appreciate that initiative too.
All right, good. So it's all about initiative and knowing who you can use to make that next step.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
Sounds good.
Now, there might be general networking events open to MSU students.
Okay.
I know that your business department sometimes hosts networking events with community members. I've been a part of those.
Okay.
And so that's been a good opportunity for at least the business students to get together and mingle with some of the community members. But otherwise, it does take initiative to find out what other ways could you connect with people. It all depends on what your goal is and who you'd like to connect with.
Okay, so it's all about determining the goal first.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. What's the one thing you wish you would have known about networking before you began the whole process?
I wish I had started earlier,
Okay.
honestly. When I graduated from college, I actually took off to teach for a few years, came back to Mankato. I was in a position at first that I didn't work with a lot of Mankato community people. I was doing outside sales nationally. I wish I had taken the initiative to find networking groups in the community that I could start connecting with earlier.
Okay.
You never know what's going to happen later on when you might need to change jobs, forced to change jobs, or just may want to find another position. And to have those relationships already there is very important when you get to that point.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Do you have any other tips or advice for networking?
Yeah, so as we mentioned, you kind of want a goal in place. Let's just say there's a networking event available and you want to go as a student. And what's your goal? You might be a little shy, right? And so maybe your goal is simply talk with one person, have a meaningful conversation, get to know them, ask them questions about themselves. Don't be so speaking about yourself, and maybe get their business card to maybe have a follow-up conversation. You don't need to be talking with 50 different people. If you can have 1, 2, maybe 3 meaningful conversations, it's much better than trying to communicate and get to meet everybody there.
Okay.
That does get a little daunting. And I guess the other point I already touched on is be interested in the other person.
Okay.
You never want to be the person that talks about themselves too much. You know, if someone finds that you are very interested in them, they're more than likely going to be asking questions about you, and they don't have the opportunity to talk with them about you.
Okay, so it's more quality than quantity. when it comes to
Absolutely.
networking. All right, that's
Yes.
good to know. Thank you for
Thanks for coming in, Taylor. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank
Hopefully
you.
this will help some of the MSU students.
I'm sure it will.